Without objection, so ordered.
Mr. Speaker, this rule would empower the U.S. House of Representatives with the opportunity to block this administration's devastating nuclear deal with the country of Iran. It is my belief that this deal needs to be ripped up, word by word, line by line, and it is this body that needs to help do that, and the process is going on today and tomorrow, and it needs to continue until we kill this deal. This rule includes 3 legislative items and is designed to give the U.S. House of Representatives multiple opportunities to block this disastrous Iran deal. I want to make one thing perfectly clear from the beginning. There is nothing unprecedented about this rule. What is unprecedented is that the administration of the United States has negotiated a deal that pardons a state that supports terrorism and turns it into a legitimate nuclear state in a matter of time. There is nothing to hide in this rule, whereas a significant part of this so-called deal with Iran is still hidden, not just by side agreements, but in facts of the case that it was up to the United States Congress to openly understand, to debate, and then make decisions on. First, HRES 411 would find that the President has not complied with the requirements of Section 2 of the Nuclear Review Act of 2015, which passed Congress and became law of the United States of America in May of 2015. This resolution simply says that the President should follow the law, and the law he signed only 4 months ago would be followed and give Congress access to all parts of the deal as they attain to this nuclear opportunity and deal that's being cut, including the IAEA and Iran. Second, H.R. 3460 would stop the administration from lifting sanctions placed currently on Iran. Third, H.R. 3461 would allow for a vote to approve the deal with the administration made with Iran regarding its nuclear program. While previous legislation would have allowed Congress to disapprove this deal, this legislation would not allow the deal to go forward without congressional approval. So, Mr. Speaker, what does the administration deal do? Well, first, the deal guarantees permanent sanctions relief, but only temporarily blocks Iran from building a nuclear bomb. In other words, this deal would inject, I assume, really as a signing bonus, $150 billion into the Iranian economy with almost completely no rules or regulations related to that use of the money, and would allow Iran to build and possess a nuclear bomb in just a matter of a few short 15 years. Mr. Speaker, we should not encourage the leading funder of terrorism in the world to have immediate access to billions of dollars now and billions of dollars later. Let there be no doubt this money will go to Hezbollah, Hamas, and Revolutionary Guard, groups that are dedicated to wiping out not only the United States, but our friends and allies around the world, including their #1 target, Israel. Mr. Speaker, when I visited the Middle East in May of this year, we met with our partners all around the region, and they were furious that this administration was negotiating with Iran. Presidents from both parties have spent decades in the United States persuading countries around the region not to build a nuclear bomb. Yet now, this administration wants to allow Iran to have access to that which we've been protecting and holding away from even our closest of friends. We will give that to this country that calls us the evil empire. Under this administration for 6 years, America has led from behind. We have led from behind when it should have been chosen to lead from the front. Now this administration has decided to engage with a nation that jails Americans and where death to America and death to Israel is chanted every single day, all over the streets of Iran and by its chosen leaders. Even worse, when the administration chose to engage with Iran, it chose to negotiate from a position of weakness. This negotiation ended with a deal that gives Iran literally everything it wants, and as I see it, delivers nothing for the American people. So what does this deal exactly do? Instead of allowing international inspectors into sites within 24 hours, the administration agreed to give Iran 24 days' notice. The plan also ends restrictions on the Iranian Intercontinental Ballistic Missile, ICBM, program in just over 8 years, which means within a decade, Iran can go back to developing warheads that could reach the United States. Mr. Speaker, they cheat on every single deal they make. Why would you negotiate with someone you don't trust? Why would you give someone you don't trust and who had a track record, give them everything they wanted? Well, even worse, reports have indicated that there's also a side deal between Iran and the IAEA that allows Iranians to inspect their own nuclear sites. Mr. Speaker, this would be like a person in college or any school being allowed to grade their own test. That's not the right way you handle international affairs. When Republicans say you negotiate with weakness, this is exactly what we're talking about. So, Mr. Speaker, it is not clear what the American people would get from this deal. What is clear is that this deal will empower a stronger Iran to be the strongest country in that region, to be competitive against the United States, and to have everything they wanted, to pursue nuclear weapons in their future. So, what's at stake here? Congress is being asked to join in this deal. They're being asked to endorse a plan that would eventually legitimize the Iranian nuclear state and fund its terrorism activities, and to support our president in doing this. Mr. Speaker, that's why we're here today. We're going to debate it. We're going to pass this legislation, and we're going to put this House on record of where we would be. Mr. Speaker, I reserve the balance of my time.